I've spent the last 2 years meticulously analyzing the best funnels for online business. After generating over $8 million, I can confidently say that it really boils down to 5 funnels. Firstly, you have DM to book a call funnel. Then you have a VSL funnel, a lead magnet funnel, a low ticket front end funnel, and a webinar funnel. Now, the best part about these is you do not need to have all 5. For most of you, just a good DM to book a call funnel is going to be the best place to start. I've generated over $4 million with this funnel alone. This is a simple Instagram funnel. You drive traffic to your Instagram by posting consistent content that is relatable both from a documentation and an authority standpoint. We then use a simple call to actions framework and strategy with stories, sending people from stories to DM. Using a DM script, we're taking those people from DM to a sales call. This is one of the most effective and direct funnels that you can use in your business and is probably the most common in the online space. This works because Instagram is the new landing page. Long are the days of sending people to a website where we lose the conversion, lose the dynamic interaction of understanding exactly what their struggle is and what their goal of where they want to be. You need to view your Instagram as a dynamic landing page. This is the same for coaches, creators, entrepreneurs, and businesses. It is the most dynamic landing page because when someone messages you, you can dynamically respond, and they want that personalized response. They want to know that you understand them, that you understand their struggle and their goal, and that you have the solution to their problems. You see, most people just want to be heard. They want to be heard and they want to know that they can trust in you because we have a blanket assumption that a lot of people can probably successfully give us the information that we want. The question is whether they trust in you as a person. People by people. This funnel allows people to message you directly. That is the power of a personal brand. When set up correctly, your DM should be flooded with inbound and sometimes outbound messages where you are building trust with your audience. First, we'll look at inbound. The best way to get inbound is through story selling. Story selling is one of the most underrated tools that is currently available on the platform. For many of you who don't know, Instagram stories go back to your warmest audience. That means when you post a story, the people viewing that are most likely to buy from you. I use 4 different types of stories: documentation, personality and value, social proof, and call to actions. Throughout my stories, I schedule them throughout the week and plan them ahead of time. We should be documenting things that make us relatable into our area of focus. We should be showing personality. If you're naturally serious, then be serious. If you're naturally funny and lighthearted, then be that on your story as well. We should have social proof, showing the transformation and change and impact we are making in our clients' lives. And lastly, we have call to actions. These are direct call to actions with one simple keyword that is going to allow your audience to indicate and put up their hand and say, hey, I would like to work with you. From here, we take them into DM. The whole point of direct messaging is making them feel understood. We want to understand what they are struggling with. And then once they have their struggles, we should point them back to useful pieces of content that actually solve their problem. If they're struggling with overeating, then send them to a video that you have made on overeating. And if you don't have that video, that's your next content idea. If they're struggling with objection handling and closing sales calls, then send them to that video. Again, if you don't have that video, that's your next content idea. Once we've taken them through the DM and understand their struggles and making sure that they feel validated every step of the way, we can ask them what their biggest goal is. It's about understanding why this is important to them. People often give us surface level answers. I want to get to 10,000 followers, or I want to lose 10 pounds. Why do you want to get to 10,000 followers? Why is it important to you? What does that give you in terms of status, in terms of financial benefit? And further on from that, if you financially benefit, how does that help those around you? Your family, your friends. Why do you want to earn that money? Why is it important for you? The same to losing weight. It's not just about losing weight and changing numbers on a scale. It's about attraction, status, and confidence. You're never selling a 6-pack. You are selling one of those 3. And we adhere to status as the highest order of what we are selling. How are they going to be perceived by the other people around them if they achieve their desired goal? Make sure they feel validated and understood. Lastly, we're going to take them and transfer them into a sales call. This needs to be done with a Calendly booking or some sort of CRM that is going to be able to capture their data. This is incredibly important because we need to be taking note of how many conversations we have every single day, how many booking links that we send out, and how many people book in. We then need to have an automated follow-up system on the Calendly link to make sure our show-up rate increases, but we also need to check back in with the people who haven't booked to make sure that they can book in. Once they booked in and we move to a sales call, we will move through a simple sales framework: past, present, future, cost of inaction, partnership. Past, understand how long they've been trying to solve this problem. Present, understand why it's not working today. If they're on the call, something is not working. You need to understand what it is and why it's not working. Future, where would they like to get to and why? Again, we're not looking for a surface level answer. Dig deep and understand how it drives confidence, status, or attraction in their life. Cost of inaction. If they don't get there, what does that cost them? There is a financial cost to everything. There is a physical and emotional. Understand what that costs them. Get them to quantify it and say it back to you so you can understand the gap of not achieving it in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. If they are not where they want to be, what will that cost them? Then, and only then, once you have gone through past, present, future, and cost of inaction, can you speak about your service. Too many people jump the gun and start speaking about their service and all the things that they can do. The reality is none of that matters if we don't understand and contextualize it to their specific problem. You need to be matching your solutions to their problems. That is the only way you will get someone to buy from you. This funnel alone has generated me over $4 million. The reason being is that it is so simple and it hedges on one thing, being able to drive top of funnel traffic to your Instagram. The second funnel I want to take you through is a VSL funnel. Now, a VSL funnel is one of the most traditional and older styles of funnels. And to execute a VSL funnel well, you need a couple different components. First, you need a high converting VSL. That is a virtual sales letter. When we think about a VSL, you need to gather data from your sales calls. Taking the transcripts from those calls, should all be recording your sales calls, and putting them into a custom GPT is going to allow you to pull the most common objections that you get and to really understand the avatar that you are selling to. In your VSL, you should be handling those objections ahead of time. You should be addressing all of the things that people are going to hit you with objections on a sales call. The VSL should guide someone through your past, the present, the future, the cost of inaction, and then it should have a clear call to action to book a call. Your VSL funnel should sit on a landing page with your testimonials straight after. The more you can populate social proof on this page, the higher conversion you're going to have of someone booking in for a call. Driving traffic to a VSL can go through a link or through paid traffic as well. When we turn on paid traffic, we need to take into account that as we increase the amount of paid, you're going to get a cost per book call. This is going to give us our ROAS, our return on ad spend, as we work through how much we are paying for a call to be booked. We need to make sure that our cash collected on this call is greater than what we are paying to acquire the call. This is your CAC, known as your cost of acquisition. This is an incredibly important number, and if you are going to run paid, you need to make sure that you have a dialed funnel to make sure that when you are sending top of funnel to your VSL, that you are actually converting these into paying clients. My next favorite funnel is a lead magnet funnel. This is a freebie on the front end. Lead magnet's role is to increase intent and gap between where the prospect is today and where they need to get to. A lead magnet funnel is incredibly useful, and you should be pouring as much time and energy into your lead magnets as your main product. You are going to be valued based on your free products. Make sure that they have value. When we talk about building gap, we're talking about understanding where the prospect is today. Often the prospect doesn't know where they need to get to. Because of this, we need to build the gap between where they are today and where they actually want to be. As an example, if someone wants to get in great shape, they probably think that they need to do cardio. In reality, nutrition is a massive problem for them. Start with the cardio and then build the gap and explain how cardio alone will not get them the result. In the lead magnet, you will ingrain that they also need a nutrition plan. They need a structured strength plan, and they need someone to hold them consistent and accountable to actually see the results that they desire. This is about building gap of where they are today and what needs to be done and what is required to get where they would like to be. Next, we're going to think about intent. That is intent that your coaching service is the right service for them. When we think about intent, you want to build this by delivering value. Make your lead magnets and free products just as good as your paid ones, because you will be valued on these, and a lot more people are going to see these and off the back of them convert into your paid services. The next funnel is very similar to a lead magnet, except we add friction. Adding friction can be done two ways, either with the complexity of the onboarding form, asking more questions about the prospect, or by adding a cost. This funnel is called a low ticket offer funnel. This means that we put a low ticket offer on the front end. These are fantastic for paid funnels because you recoup the ad spend on these funnels. What I mean by that is as you pay an ad spend, you recoup some of that spend back on the front end because you're essentially paying to acquire a customer, but they are also paying you to become a customer on the front end. Instead of a VSL funnel and a lead magnet funnel where it is free to enter, they are paying some small buy-in to join the funnel. This may be a $29 front end or a $97 front end. Again, make these incredibly valuable, and the same goal is to build gap and intent. Given that you are charging, you do need to put more time, more effort, and more value into these. Often this is about combining multiple lead magnets and getting someone to a step-off point. A step-off point is where they are today, which builds gap of where they need to be. And then the step-off point is that transformational point when they are ready to step into your program. For example, if you only work with people that are doing $10,000 a month, your lead magnet could be getting someone from $0 to $10,000 a month. If you only work with someone that's under a certain body fat percentage, then your lead magnet could be getting someone to that body fat percentage. Other examples of lead magnets are 7-day trials. Sometimes you can turn these onto paid 7-day trials. $7 for 7 days could be a paid lead magnet. This will improve your lead quality, but likely decrease your lead quantity. As you add friction, it plays that less people will participate because it's pay to play, but the quality of people that do participate will improve. The last funnel, and one that I am very passionate about at the moment, and I think is incredibly interesting because I've seen so many people execute this very well, is the webinar funnel. Webinar funnel is used in a sell to many. This means that people sign up and you give a webinar, normally 45 minutes to an hour, and you sell to many onto either book a call or some sort of mid-ticket item around a 997. Why this works so well is that you can build so much conviction and emotional intent on that call. You then give them a too good to be true offer that they need to execute only because they have access to that call. Given that it's live, there is an element of live selling, and the one-to-many sell is definitely a skill that needs to be refined over time. I've combined the webinar funnel and the LTO funnel to create a VIP upsell. What that means is when someone signs up for the webinar, we negate some of the ad spend if we're driving paid traffic towards it, by selling people on a VIP upsell. The VIP upsell is normally hedged on more proximity of your time and additional worksheets and resources that get someone top of funnel into that webinar. Adding this VIP upsell for $29 to $49 helps negate the cost of ad spend and recoup some of that spend, which can be used to acquire more customers on the front end. The webinar sell is a skill in itself and needs to be set up correctly where you are getting buy-in on your own story, on your offer, and driving conviction that your service will provide solutions for their problems. You need to have a deep understanding of your avatar. If I was to execute these in order, I wouldn't start with all 5. Start with the DM funnel. This is the easiest to set up, lowest friction point for you as an entrepreneur to get this running immediately. You can also do this with very low traffic volumes, and how you compete early on is a level of personability. If you don't have setters, closers, you personally are responding to your DMs. Let people know that by dropping voice notes, by being highly personable. This is how you compete early on. Instead of going down the road to the person with 10,000 clients, you are not going to be able to compete with that person on volume or on social proof. So compete on personability. Start with the DM funnel. Once that's working well and you have data from your sales calls that are successful, start to build out your avatar, understand their key objections, and we can turn this into a VSL. A high converting VSL funnel can be coupled with a DM to book a call funnel. You will put your VSL pre-book a call. You can use this VSL to increase show rate and increase close rate by handling these objections ahead of time. Once you've successfully turned both of these on, we can look to a lead magnet funnel. Lead magnet funnels are going to allow you to increase the number of leads coming through your funnel, accessing something that is free. This increases the number of people coming top of funnel and allows more chances at conversion. Once we have refined this and we have a high quantity of leads coming through, we can work on our conversion metric. If we want to add friction, start paying for your lead magnets. Once prospects are paying for your lead magnets, we are going to increase the quality of lead and decrease the quantity. The last one is a webinar, and this is a great way to recoup and capture all the leads over an entire month and push them to a webinar to use a one-to-many sell. These are the 5 different funnels that you can implement in your business. As I said, if you're starting out, you only really need one funnel and you can get that up to 50K a month, if not 100K a month with 1 or 2 of these funnels alone. It's about understanding one funnel incredibly well and refining the numbers to get better and better. If you want to test my Leaky form funnel, this is where I go through every single funnel and allow you to test where the gaps are in your funnel. Then click the link below and I'll leave it in the bio. There's a Leaky form funnel and I go through the DM to book a call funnel, the VSL funnel, the free lead magnet funnel, the LTO funnel, and the webinar funnel. I'll see you on there.